Brainwash yourself to have a long-term relationship as men. Now, the brainwash, the word itself is very interesting and it can trigger some very negative responses towards that word because, of course, it looks negative when we say brainwash, but we are actually getting brainwashed every day through social media, through TikTok videos, through Instagram reels, any sorts of information that triggers our emotion is able to brainwash us to able to behave in a certain way. So therefore, now brainwash itself is like a power. It does not have any inherent characteristics of morality. Brainwashing it is not good or bad. Brainwashing is just brainwashing, okay? Now, I want you to brainwash yourself to have a long-term relationship. Now, many people in this society they're brainwashed to able to have a short-term flings and not have any sorts of relationship that are stable. We'll get into the some of the interesting stuff that we're going to talk about, such as MK Ultra and how to actually brainwash yourself so that you can have a long-term relationship that you are truly wanting. So now let's get into the video, right? Now let's talk about the MK Ultra first. Now we already know about this conspiracy theories about MK Ultra, etc., etc. So basically, MK means it has the original meaning from German word mind control, and this mind control this means mind control, right? It's obvious, and this MK Ultra had the goal to program human mind to able to control them in a way that they want. Now, CIA has been doing this since the 1950s to 1970s, if I'm not mistaken. But the point here is that I would like to introduce you to the some of the techniques that they used so that uh, you can actually brainwash yourself through the similar techniques. But I'm not going to, force you to, consume drugs or anything. But I just want you to know what kind of mechanism that they used and what we can use so that we can actually brainwash ourselves into having a long-term relationship. So, but don't worry about it, okay? This will be very fun. Now, the mind control, what they used first, they used drugs and sensory deprivation and hypnosis, etc., etc. So, these have all common factor, which is ASC. ASC means altered state of consciousness. Altered state of consciousness is the altered state of consciousness. The name says it all, right? Our conscious mind is like a logical mind that is awake, but when it's awake, it cannot be programmed easily. So therefore, you need to alter the consciousness to able to go half asleep or completely asleep so that you become vulnerable to brainwashing. Now, they use drugs, the psychedelics, and sensory deprivation and hypnosis to able to lose your consciousness or to able to be open to brainwashing so that you can be conditioned through reward and punishment and total control. They controlled you by conditioning your behaviors through a certain environment where they rewarded you when you did something that they wanted, or they punished you if they did something that they didn't want you to do, right? So now, when they actually did this reward and punishment, the total control environment, they triggered the trauma and the traumatic experiences. Therefore, they triggered your emotions. They triggered your emotion. I'll repeat that again. Triggering the emotion, and the emotion is the highest importance when it comes to brainwashing. As us as humans, we need to go through traumatic experience once for our entire experience of our life to be altered completely. Okay? When we talk about trauma, it does not need to be this, MK ultra type trauma or going on a war trauma. We just need to have that emotional trigger that will trigger us so that we become brainwashed to a certain trigger word, or certain situations or certain environments, etc., etc. The possibilities are varied. Now, when they have successfully made you have altered state of consciousness, and they have given you reward and punishment through total controlled environment, and they triggered you emotionally, now they can brainwash you to have new persona, the new mask. Persona comes from the etymological word persona, the mask itself, and you can have a new mask through the brainwashing, through the MK Ultra experiments that they did, right? They have given you new identity, and they have given you new beliefs through repetition and through emotional triggering, and they also injected you with some trigger word to trigger certain behaviors, right? They have given you the word called suggestions, and the sentences that can trigger a certain behaviors. For example, like when you actually see some feminists that are getting triggered by certain word, for example, like woman this, woman that. Whenever they hear a certain sentence called woman this, their emotional they become emotionally triggered, because the brain part uh, uh, that is taking care of the identity is triggered, because they're brainwashed by the feminism society and the feminism matrix. Whenever they hear the certain word that triggers them, they will become angry. Okay? Now, due to the fact that it is possible to brainwash humans, and this experiments has actually been successful, and the mind control, the MK Ultra, is actually still going on in this today's world, and it is actually going on right now. YouTube is MK Ultra. Instagram is MK Ultra. If I actually repeat this word over and over again, I fear that this video is going to get flagged. But I don't care. I just want you to get the knowledge, okay? Now, since this program has been also used in, in ancient times too, in Egypt, when they actually trained a new king. I'll not get into that, but we can see how we can actually brainwash ourselves too. By the way, if you are an entrepreneur, high-performing man, or an executive who is struggling to have a long-term relationship, even though you can actually attract a woman within your life and have sex, I'll help you. Link is in the description. There are many men that are able to attract. They have like height, and they're good looking, etc., etc., and they can have sex, but they're failing to have a long-term relationship due to the fact that they do not have a strong masculine frame in which a woman can enter into. So I'll help you out with this. Thank you very much. We can see that we can become, we can be in the state of consciousness that is altered, the altered state of consciousness, and then we can do the visualization technique with ourselves, and we can trigger the emotions while we're alone, and have the new identity and the belief. Okay? Now, I'll guide you step by step on how to brainwash yourself. Okay? And don't be scared. it is it is not going to be used for your harm. Now, you get into the altered state of consciousness by closing your eyes, blocking your ears, and block all the sensory inputs. Isolate yourself from surroundings and just sit and relax for 20, or it can take like 30 minutes. And you have to be in the relaxed state. Okay, relaxed state. Relaxed state. It's the state of hypnosis, right? Your brain wave is going to be in the alpha and the theta brainwave state, which is going to be 4 to 8 hertz. And this 4 to 8 hertz brainwave state is the state where you are in between sleep and awake. Like you're in between, right in between the sleep and being awake. So that's why you can be very open to suggestions, and you can be open to the brainwashing itself, right? Now, you do the visualization technique and you trigger the thoughts within yourself and plus the emotion. Now, you do the visualization technique where you create a scene where you are being congratulated by a woman that you truly want, for example. For example, you want a woman in your dreams that wants to be within your life in a long-term relationship with you. Now you visualize that woman that is, kissing you and hugging you, and make the scene for 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Just like Instagram reel. Just saying that, oh, I love you, and kissing you and hugging you, and repeat that loop and over and over and over again until you get the emotional trigger of happiness, for example. Or you can be relaxed in a relaxed state, and you can be in a very exhilarated state. It is very individual for your taste, okay? It is going to be individualized. You can be in the relaxed state, chill state, excited state, okay? It will be varied. But the emotional trigger is going to be triggered by your visualization and visualization technique through the congratulations method or the visualization technique that I have suggested to you right now. Now, after that, you can actually become emotionally triggered by being excited, okay? You have combined the thoughts and the emotion, and you have successfully programmed yourself to become satisfied. And you enter into the state of you're good with it and good without it. You already have it within yourself. You already have it within your consciousness. You have successfully brainwashed yourself by being that guy that already has the woman of your dreams kissing and hugging you, and you already have that long-term relationship with her within your imagination. And when you trigger that successfully, you can confirm that you have brainwashed yourself by asking yourself if you're good with it and good without it. Am I good with her and good without her? Am I good with her and good without her? And that is going to be the question that you have to ask yourself after brainwashing yourself, so that you can actually confirm that you have brainwashed yourself, right? I'm repeating myself over and over again. But because you have this new identity and new beliefs that you already have it within, and you are going to have that long-term relationship that you truly desire, now you can actually cultivate the strong masculine frame. This is the second technique that I'm going to teach you, okay? or the second step that I'm going to teach you. First visualization technique is being emotionally detached from the woman that you truly desire. That's the first step. And you have repeated the scene 5 seconds and over again, and you have emotionally triggered. It's the first visualization that you have done. Now, here's the second step. The cultivation of a strong masculine frame. You get into the relaxed state again and visualize a strong, firm house. And this house is your strong masculine frame. It is made out of a stone that cannot be shaken. It has a strong foundation. And your emotions are very, very stable and strong. And you have that strong conviction that this house will never crumble. And you visualize that scene where you have that strong masculine house. Strong masculine house in which a woman can enter into. Woman can enter into your strong masculine frame, your strong masculine household. And this is going to be the psychological frame in which a woman will enter into, because the definition of a long-term relationship that I'm going to tell you is long-term relationship is attracting and finding the right woman who has the ability to enter into your masculine frame. Thus, she cultivates a genuine burning desire within your masculine frame and maintain long-term, satisfying, stable relationship. And stable relationship due to the fact that you are stable, and she can enter into your household, into your masculine frame due to the fact that you have this strong mental masculine frame that you have strongly visualized, and you have a new identity of a strong masculine man. And now I'll teach you the trigger word that is going to be repeated within your life over and over again. Remember this one sentence that is going to be very, very strong. In MK Ultra, the CIAs, they actually use the trigger word to able to trigger certain behaviors. Now I'm going to teach you the trigger word that is going to teach you a certain behaviors of a strong masculine frame, which is going to be extremely attractive for a woman. I don't care. I'm a man on a mission. Now, if you're on a relaxed state, tell yourself, repeat after me. I don't care. I'm a man on a mission. I don't care. I'm a man on a mission. I don't care. I'm a man on a mission. And that is going to be the trigger word that you are going to repeat daily. And you will see that every time some shit happens or some bullshit situation happens within your life, or a woman tries to trigger you, or woman tries to shit test you to have an emotional reaction, you'll say the sentence, I don't fucking care. I'm a man on a mission. Do you truly think that your trigger word can trigger me? Do you think your shit tests will influence me? Do you think the world outside is going to influence my mission and my vision? No. Because you are a man on a mission, and you can never shake. And you can never shake because you have a strong masculine frame in which a woman can enter into, and this will never ever shake within your life. So, this is how you brainwash yourself to have a long-term relationship. Thank you very much.